Welcome to the Halliwell Manor. I'm Max.
And I'm Tina.
And we're here to discuss Season 7, Episode 2 of Charmed.
The Bear Witch Project.
Okay, I'm just gonna put this out there. I fucking love this episode of Charmed.
Okay.
Like, we are deep into the nobody giving a shit seasons of Charmed. Like, no one wants to be here at this point. And for some reason, this is the sweet spot for Charmed for me. This is just so much fun.
I guess I should have watched it with that mindset. Because I'm just like, what? I honestly, my main emotion through this whole episode was, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh.
What?
None of it hangs together. Things just happen. You need to just let it wash over you. You sit back and you just let it happen. That's this episode of Charmed.
If Lady Godiva didn't exist, there would be no feminism?
Yeah. Also, everyone can time travel.
Yeah, I mean, you just read the basic spell.
Yeah, like...
That raises so... The existence of time travel raises so many questions.
And of course, Charmed famously, does not have splinter theory of time travel. No multiverse theory. Although there are alternate dimensions. We talked about this a lot during the Chris stuff.
For obvious reasons.
But, yeah.
Okay. Are you familiar with the phrase, the great man theory of history?
Yes.
The idea that historical events happen because, of a couple extraordinary individuals.
Which is not the case. It tends to be large groups of people working, together, and then one person gets, or in a lot of cases, takes all the credit.
Not only do I think that the great man theory of history is wrong, I think it's dangerous. And I think the idea that absent this one woman riding naked through the town...
Something that definitely actually happened in real history.
Yeah, absent that, there would be no feminism.
And Phoebe would have married Nick Lachey. Okay, do you think someone read The Handmaid's Tale and that was kind of the impetus for this episode?
Quite possibly. I mean, yeah. We're jumping ahead a little bit here, but without feminism, women get flogged for speaking in public, and they have to wear these, drab outfits and cover their hair.
And all the men are in suits.
I guess they're conflating, the 1950s, right?
Where you would get dressed up to, go to the grocery store or do bank robberies.
Exactly. All right, so I feel like we've kind of been talking around what happens in this episode. Should we get into it?
Oh, yeah. This is the Lady Godiva episode.
Oh, also, as Max implied or sarcastically said the opposite of, it's not even certain that Lady Godiva actually did a naked ride. In fact, the first account of it isn't until hundreds of years after her death, and was either to discredit her or to bring tourists to Coventry, the town that she was from. So, not only do we, not know for sure that it happened, by which I mean it almost certainly didn't, but the two opposite reasons that the story might have been invented. It's ridiculous. Okay. Oh, also, okay, I'm sorry. One more thing. In the story itself, when she did her naked ride, she had everyone in town go into their house and bar up their windows and not look at her so no one would see her naked body. That was very important. And the man who, went against these orders and, peeked at her, which is where we get the phrase peeping Tom, right? This person who peeped at her, God either killed him or struck him blind, depending on which version of the story you're reading, right? So the idea that this show would make it such a spectacle is really kind of offensive to the fictional story that absolutely did not happen.
Hey, no, but see, What this episode is trying to say is, feminism is good. Women can do whatever they want, but the only way to get dudes to listen to you is to take off all your clothes.
And
I'm sorry, the only way to get anyone to listen to you is to take off all your clothes.
right, implicitly saying that like your value is hinged on your hotness, right? Because you have to be a hot woman taking off your clothes to be listened to.
This is Charmed. There are no non-hot women.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Wait, no, there's one non-hot woman.
Oh yes, the ugliest demon in the universe.
That episode's coming up later. I'm very excited for that episode.
You know what? If you ignore the main plot of this season, I really like this season of Charmed. It's the we're out of ideas, we're just gonna do whatever season of Charmed. It's like if every episode of Next Gen after a certain point was just the candle sex ghost episode.
I mean, when you put it that way, it sounds amazing. All right, so I know I already said this once, but I will say it again. Let's get into the episode.
Yes, Phoebe is reading her article, which is now being ghostwritten by Leslie, a man.
And she's so horrified because he gives advice like a man. He just tells people what to do instead of actually listening to them. And I mean, I know that that's the stereotype for the difference in the way men and women listen, but this is an advice column. He's supposed to give advice, Phoebe.
Yeah, like the whole point. He can't. He listened by reading the letter, and then he has to write a response. He can't be like, "Oh, go on." Also, okay, I know we can't be sidetracked.
Can I say it? Because I have a way to say it.
Yes.
Also, I guess maybe it's true that women don't give advice because Phoebe lives in a home with two other women and none of them told her not to wear that hat outside of the house.
Oh my god, it's fantastic. It's like someone ripped two hats in half and then sewed them together.
In the shape of a fedora, but it's wicker.
It's wicker on top.
It's so ugly.
It's hideous.
So
it's a hideous hat, to quote Wicked.
Oh.
But yes, Phoebe is upset because Leslie is giving advice like a man.
And then people are going to know it's not her and she's going to lose all of her readers. And then what is she going to do?
Why did you take this break from work, Phoebe? You were supposed to be relaxing, I guess, so you could learn how to give people advice again. But, like, why did you take this break if you're just going to obsess over your fucking column?
I mean, that's just Phoebe for you, right?
But there's no feelings, no emotions. He's just trying to fix her problems. Yeah, that's... Remember when you told that woman who was afraid of moving out of her house to get a dog? How is that not just fixing a problem with a solution?
Okay, can I tell a personal story about you?
Okay, yes, I guess.
Okay, so sometimes when I have anxiety and I'm like spiraling, I'll like start thinking of all of these worst case scenarios. And I've found that a good way to like calm myself down when I'm thinking worst case scenarios is to just say them out loud to someone and have the person be like, "That's dumb. You're being dumb. That's absolutely not going to happen." But because Max is a really good guy and he doesn't want to negate my feelings, I was telling him my worst case scenarios and he was like, yeah, okay, I can see that. And I was like, oh my god, you can? What? Which is to say that this binary of how men and women give advice is not true. And also that Max is too good of a listener and it came around and bit me in the ass.
I promise to disregard your feelings more in the future.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Speaking of disregarding other people's feelings, Piper.
Nice. Well, good segue.
Yeah, Piper's like, aren't you supposed to not be freaking out over your stupid job that apparently isn't bringing in any money? Which, is she not... I guess she wouldn't be getting paid for the sabbatical?
I mean, I don't know. I mean...
They're kind of just licensing her image, right? Even if she's not actively writing the article.
I mean, given how they treat Phoebe at that paper, I wouldn't be surprised if she was getting paid.
So, yeah, they're having this whole... and Piper immediately pivots to what I think would be the wrong thing to say to anyone other than Phoebe, where she's like, are you sure you're not just mad at Leslie because you want to have sex with him? And... you hate the men you want to have sex with.
She does, doesn't she? Oh, I'm going to give advice like a man, quote unquote here,
Mm-hmm.
and say Phoebe should have just gone somewhere where she could relax, where there was no cell reception, and Paige could have just orbed to get her if they needed to, if she really wanted to disconnect from this column.
Okay, I know it's not the point of the scene, but Wyatt is sitting in a stroller next to them as they're having this conversation. Piper's breastfeeding Chris under like 30 blankets.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel so bad for that child actor. He looks so bored.
It works for the scene, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you brought up that Piper is breastfeeding Chris under many, many blankets. In fact, you'd be hard-pressed to say that there is a baby under there, and I, personally, am convinced that there is no, like, baby actor under there in reality.
Oh, no, like, if the waiter did not come up and be like, hey, lady, you can't breastfeed here, I wouldn't know that's what she was doing. I'd just think she was, I don't know, cold.
Right? Oh, and so this is in San Francisco, remember?
Yes.
This is in San Francisco, and the waiter's like, breastfeeding in public? We are scandalized! Put it away!
He says other customers are complaining, and it cuts to a man and a woman who are just kind of shaking their heads. Are they disapproving of Piper or
No,
of
they're
him?
disapproving of Piper.
Okay, so this guy's a jackass for doing his job, I guess. I mean,
No.
he should be shutting the complainers down, right? Like,
Yeah, but also it comes up in this episode that it is illegal to discriminate against women who are breastfeeding, okay?
yeah.
And Phoebe brings that up, and he points to a sign he has hanging up that says, management reserves the right to refuse service to anyone. And it's like, you can't just hang up a sign that says, I choose to break the law and break the law.
I do what I want.
Right? You couldn't just hang up a sign that says, like, I won't serve minorities, and then all of a sudden be allowed to do that. Like, that's not the way it works, man.
I mean, given not to talk about
let's not get
politics.
into
We're not
politics.
talking about politics, but
You can't just-
give it a few weeks.
You can't
America
just
will
hang.
get there.
Oh God, I just got really depressed because I was going to say you can't just hang up a sign that says we reserve the right to ignore OSHA violations. But then again, the way things are. Anyway, moving on.
Not talking about yeah. This is about Charmed, the fun show where women are being refused service for breastfeeding. Although it seems like they've already. You know what? I was going to say, it seems like they've already finished eating, except their food is just sitting in plates in front of them. I guess they were just there to talk.
Well, they're at a cafe, right? So
Yeah.
I think that they were just picking at their food. But it's true, like,
God, poor Wyatt.
Piper has a, like, full coffee in front of her still.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm sorry. You have an omnipotent 2-year-old, and you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna have this giant, long, boring conversation with my sister and hope that the omnipotent, bored 2-year-old doesn't do anything like, I don't know, make a dragon.
It's weird that you started this by saying poor Wyatt. Poor Piper.
Well, if only there was some place she could send Wyatt while she was having these lunches with Phoebe, someplace where he could be perhaps taught to hone his, omnipotence.
Ooh, another segue. All right, so we go from the cafe where, as we said, Phoebe wanted to stay and make a scene, and Piper was like, no, I'm tired, I'm going home. And we go from there to magic school, where Paige is arguing for, keeping magic school open.
Yeah, apparently the elders were just going to shut it down because, Gideon was the main guy running it, and they don't feel like hiring someone else.
Well, they don't think anyone else can handle it. They don't think anyone else can run it.
Is it because it's full of 40-year-olds? Well,
oh my God! Okay, so there are apparently like some magic school students in this scene, and yeah, like you said, they all look to be well into their 40s.
yeah, Paige is like, these children need a place to learn, and this dude who definitely needs to be getting prostate exams hits her with a spitball, and the main elder guy is like, oh my God, look at how many forehead ridges that guy has.
Right?
But yeah, so the main elder in this episode is for some reason really dead set on closing magic school.
Yeah.
Which, Paige is arguing to keep it open because, derivative as it may be, yeah, there's a really good reason for magic school to exist. There are some actual teenagers in this scene who should be taught how to harness their powers, especially if they're going to, I don't know, change the course of human history by summoning historical figures and then fucking with the timeline.
And if the only way that people have learned magic before magic school existed was from their families, then you're leaving people who don't have magic users in their family or who are separated from their families, like, you're leaving them out there to do a great deal of damage.
Okay, I should save
and
this...
eventually get killed by the cleaners.
Yes. I should save this for molecular combustion. I'm just going to mention it here in case I forget, because I often forget our extra powers. But Paige said, like, when Paige is like, how are these kids going to learn about magic? The elder guy's like, how did you learn about magic? And she's like, well, my sisters learned it from their mother and grandmother, and I learned it from them. And I'm like, okay, no. They didn't know about magic until after Grams and Patty were, like, dead.
Yeah, they learned it out of a book.
Yeah, granted, a book written by their ancestors, but...
Guided by the hand of their grandmother, I guess.
Yeah. And yes, Paige did learn from her sisters, but I think a more relevant thing would be, look how fucking vulnerable Paige was. Like...
Yeah.
And look how vulnerable the sisters were to start with. They were down a sister. It's the whole reason Paige is here. Maybe if they had gone to magic school, they would have been better charmed ones, and Prue would have lived to see the death of the source.
Okay. I am appreciating that you're arguing, strongly for magic school.
Mm-hmm.
But these kids, she is standing here in front of the elders arguing that, there should be a place where children learn magic, and the kids who would benefit from that most are, like, throwing spitballs at her. If I was Paige, I'd be like, oh, you know what, never mind, fuck you all, and left. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, like, all of these kids seem invested in magic school staying open enough to be here at this meeting, but also they're... Yeah, no, I don't get it. I was a teenager, and I definitely had my shitty moments, but I feel like even teenagers are, capable of acting in their own self-interest.
Paige says later that the meeting went long and the kids got restless, but it's like, they're not toddlers.
Seriously. So, a teenager who seems to be played by, if not an actual teenager, at least someone who can pass for one, mentions that he cast a really awesome spell on a history book and outblorps Lady Godiva, a naked blonde lady on a horse, and also some gray smoke. Don't worry about it. Definitely isn't going to form into a dude.
Okay, all of the teenagers shout naked woman and run up and surround her. Like, act like you've been there, man. Come on.
Have a little chill. This is in the age of the internet. You have seen a naked woman before.
So, yeah, this poor woman who, as I said... Had taken measures to make sure that no one else saw her, now has been pulled out of the history book and is in the middle of magic school naked on her horse, which
the elders
seems really uncomfortable.
Yeah, the elders are literally holding back the teen boys who are trying to grab her, I guess. And yeah, you know what? No, magic school needs to be shut down. Jail for all of them.
Shut it down.
So, the kid who summoned Lady Godiva is freaking the fuck out. He's like, Jesus Christ, I didn't know I went to a school full of weird pervo sex maniacs. Like, I'm so sorry. And Paige is like, don't worry, you just did a spell that went bad. That doesn't mean you're bad. You're not bad. Just because you did this horrible, bad, evil thing doesn't mean you're a bad, evil, horrible person. We can fix this. Don't worry, we can fix this. And I'm like, Paige... This is so small potatoes.
Are you sure you want to take over magic school?
I mean, she doesn't. This is thrust upon her later. But, like, why are you flipping out this much? This is not that big of a deal.
So the head elder is like, see, this is...
He cartoonishly points a finger in her face. It's fantastic. I love it so much. He leans into the scene pointing a scolding finger at her.
I mean, I hate to be on his side here, but yeah, fuck it.
He's like, you can keep these kids under control for one meeting, and she's like, it ran long.
Oh.
Like,
Also, you can't just pull people out of history. You need to send her back or else everything will be destroyed.
yeah. So Paige shoos the horny children away from her.
She takes a jacket off of a teacher nearby to give it to, I guess, a trench coat, so it's long.
Yeah.
To give it to Lady Godiva so that she's covered up.
So Duncan, the boy who summoned Lady Godiva, is feeling guilty. And the smoke guy who came through with Lady Godiva, who's invisible,
to them, like, he's translucent to us.
Yeah, Barbus style.
Yes.
But he goes over to Duncan, and he's like, ooh, so much repression. I'm going to unleash your repression because I feed off of repression. And by eating it, I make you unrepressed and therefore physically attack people.
Which is what happens.
Yeah, Duncan, like, a kid was like, way to go, dude. And Duncan was like, shut up, man. And I guess he was repressing anger or something. Whatever. You know what? Whatever. Things happen. You just let it wash over you. He feeds off of repression, and when you take away repression, people attack each other.
This demon has no connection in reality, like here in our world, in the real world. This demon has no connection to the actual Lady Godiva story. Like, they just put it in there to make there be a villain. And not only is there no historical connection, there's no real thematic connection either.
Well, she stopped being repressed when she took off her clothes to ride around town. He should be the demon of unfair taxation, right?
Right!
Or the demon of clothing. And the only way to defeat him is to get naked. Or skyclad.
It's kind of like, what's his name from Ghosts? The robber baron whose ghost power is to make everybody super horny.
Yeah. So, okay. I love this whole bit. There's a tracking shot of Phoebe and Piper walking into the manor while Phoebe is complaining about Leslie ruining her column still. And Piper is so over this. She's like, yeah, whatever. She's dismissing Phoebe. Phoebe places her horrible hat on a table and it rolls straight off, but they keep walking because this is, a one-shot thing. So I don't know. I just love that she puts the hat on the table and you can see it falling off as they walk, as it gets pulled out of frame.
Okay, she's just had a baby. I definitely don't want to blame her.
Yeah.
But Holly Marie Combs did not come to work this week. Piper delivers every single line with just this dead, unenthusiastic, like, monotone.
So Phoebe is going to write a letter to trap Leslie, and even though he'll never pick it because he's a man, and Piper's like, well, I bet you're going to make him pick it. And she's like, Piper, how could you say that? How could I do that? And Piper's like, I don't know, magic, boobs,
okay.
magic, boobs.
I'm sorry, I gotta get into this.
Okay.
She says the reason he won't pick it is because he only picks questions that are problems he can solve. And number one, as an advice columnist, I feel like you kind of should do that. You should only pick letters you have advice to give about.
Sorry, gay twins. I don't know what you should do. What a weird situation you're in.
Classic Dear Prudence letter. Also, it's not just that they're gay, it's that they are incestuous with each other.
Yes.
Okay. Speaking of which, we should hurry up and finish recording because we got the season finale of White Lotus to watch.
Yes.
Okay. So, putting aside that, yeah, you should only answer questions that you can answer. Her whole thing is that she wants Leslie to be, like, empathetic and reflect people's feelings back to them and, like, actually listen and blah, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
But the actual advice that she should be given here is, here is the phone number of the government agency that you should report this to because this is absolutely a law that he is 100% breaking.
Oh, yeah. Her whole thing is that she's going to use this being discriminated against for breastfeeding at a restaurant thing to something trap Nick Lachey, which I don't understand how that would resolve either one of these situations, but you do you, Phoebe.
You don't understand how that's gonna resolve either situation? Let me bring up something else. I have no idea how the thing she actually does is supposed to have solved anything. Oh.
Well, it gave them something to put in the preview for this episode.
And in the like TV guide ad. The whole TV guide ad is the... I mean, I don't know why I'm like talking around it, because...
Do you want to see Alyssa Milano naked, but not really?
Yeah, the TV guide ad is the end of the episode.
As was the ad for the... As was the preview for the episode. Like, so, Paige interrupts this horrible little conversation with Lady Godiva, and Piper's like, really, why? and Paige is like, I'm pretty sure the elders are going to shut down magic school. And
I do kind of like that Lady Godiva is wandering around the kitchen, like, being confused and scared by all of the kitchen appliances. She, like, turns on the blender and freaks out. I do kind of like that.
And
This actress, this guest star, is like, I am a guest star here, so I am not tired of being on television, and I am going to act with my full
ass.
chest.
Yeah. Which, okay. Piper dismisses Lady Godiva as a sex object, and she's like, I am no sex object. I changed the course of human history with my ride. And Piper's like, sure, okay. Paige, can you handle this? Well, Phoebe, you can handle your thing, and I'm going to just try to find my husband, because I am really, really sick of raising 2 children by myself.
Okay, but
Also, I am the only one who has a job that is bringing in actual money, so I need to run the club.
Okay, but Godiva was pulled out of history mid-ride. She doesn't even know that the ride succeeded in getting the taxes repealed, let alone changing all of human history.
Just let it wash over you. I mean, also, couldn't Paige have just done a little, like, rhyme to send her back right away? Why do you need to do research? This is Charmed. You just say words and stuff happens.
I feel like you need to consult the book first and then say words. I think that's the order of operations. Ooh, in John Scalzi's book Red Shirts, where people are trapped within the narrative, right? So
I couldn't get past the first few chapters. It felt too self-congratulatory.
Okay. But the idea is that people are on, a Star Trek style ship, but at certain points the narrative will just take over. They're being controlled by an outside writer that they can't see, stranger than fiction style. And the science team has realized they have this magic box, and that whenever they get a science MacGuffin, they just put it inside of the magic box, and when a narratively appropriate amount of time has passed, the box beeps and the answer is there, right? That's Charmed. You can't just say words. You have to open the book until a narratively appropriate amount of time has passed, and then you say words.
It wasn't a show I ever watched that much of, but I did listen to a podcast about it for a while. And I'm given to understand that that's how Sailor Moon works, too. Every episode ends the same way, with her using her tiara or whatever to blow up the monster. But even though they defeat every villain the same way, they still have to go through the whole thing.
I'm given to understand that's how most anime works. All right, so... You know what? Piper does have her own problems.
Yeah. Her very smudgy husband is going on a quest for vengeance. You already blew up Barbas.
He wants to kill any demon who might be a threat to his sons.
Isn't that just all demons? You're killing all demons.
Until every demon who might be a threat to his sons is wiped out, he cannot possibly stop traveling around the underworld and help Piper change diapers. You know what it is?
Oh, it's, he's a feminist, but does he do the dishes?
Everyone wants to save the world, but no one wants to help mom with the dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The weird thing is, I really like this scene because it kind of belays the emotional connection between Piper and Leo. Like, Piper's like, look, I think this whole demon murder quest is part of your whole Zola guilt because you killed that elder last episode because of because Barbas manipulated you into it, and now you feel like you have to do something so that it'll be worth it. Like, I understand your emotions, but you are not dealing with them in a healthy way. And Leo blows up the demon he was torturing in front of Wyatt and Chris, and Piper puts her hands over Wyatt's eyes, but he like moves them so he can watch, which, again, if you're worried about Wyatt going evil, maybe don't kill people in front of him all the time.
Right? Also, Wyatt is the one who brought them there.
Because he misses his dad. Like,
Leo, if you want Wyatt to not turn evil, and if you want Wyatt to be safe, because remember, he's invulnerable, so the thing that he's in danger from is, emotional and mental, not physical.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to help your son, you need to go and be a father to him, not just run around blowing up all demons. It seems pretty straightforward to me, Leo.
Yeah, Wyatt can do that by himself, and he's 2. Like, just focus on being a good dad.
This is about Leo being super old. Except it shouldn't be, because he's been a white lighter for longer than he was alive. So he should have that, like, caring, nurturing, guardian angel shit down, but guess not. Alright, so...
Phoebe walks into her office, and Nick Lachey's manned it up. There's sports stuff everywhere. There's a sword leaning against... I'm sorry, it's a scooter. There's a scooter leaning against a wall. There's a basketball hoop. There are balls everywhere.
There are balls everywhere. There's a Lakers ball sitting on the desk.
Because
there's a 49ers pendant on the bulletin board behind him.
Like, remember, he may be an advice columnist, but he's also a man.
But the reason Phoebe has come into the office is to deliver the breastfeeding letter that she wrote. But when Leslie catches her, she tells him that she's looking for her favorite pen. And he's like, oh my god, what the fuck? Please leave so I can do my job without you standing over me.
Brilliant, brilliant actor Nick Lachey. Needed to be multiple episodes. Couldn't have found an actual act. Was Nick Lachey that hot of a ticket at this point?
I guess so.
Like, he's not bad looking. He looks like a guy who used to be in a boy band.
He looks, yeah, I mean, he's a pretty generic looking guy.
Yeah, like, he hasn't aged as poorly as some guys who were in boy bands, but, like...
I mean, if I didn't watch every single episode of 21 seasons of Grey's Anatomy, not that it matters because he gets killed relatively early when you realize there's 21 seasons. Anyway, the point is, if I hadn't watched all of Grey's Anatomy, I might have trouble telling him apart from Jason Dean.
Yeah. Yeah, well...
Who was played by McSteamy.
Yes. So, he points out that her whole weird thing, because she's nagging him a lot about, the way he chooses the letters and how
Wait. She's not nagging him, because when you nag someone, you're trying to get them to have an affection for you because they want your approval. She's just insulting him.
Yeah, she's like, look, the thing is, you're bad at your job because of your gender, and it comes through, and I think you're destroying my reputation, and you're bad, and you should, leave and never come back, you filthy, disgusting man. Bye. And he's like, I'm gonna date her for a couple episodes.
Oh.
Okay, so... For some reason, Paige is flipping through a history book about feminism.
It's Great Women in History.
Yeah, to, let Lady Godiva know that her bride worked and that she inspired all of these other great women, like Joan of Arc.
Okay, no. But that book has the picture of Lady Godiva that Duncan used to bring her out of history. So it is plot relevant as well as,
Is it? Why did you even take her back to the house if you were just going to do all of this stuff at magic school? Why did you go back to the house?
I don't know.
Also, whoever wrote this history book about great women in history included in the picture of Lady Godiva, there's this sniveling dude, Lord Dyson, just watching her with his hands all templed Mr. Bird style going, yeah. Why would that be in the book? He has nothing. He didn't stop her. He didn't try to stop her or anything. Why isn't there a picture of her husband?
Well, this is what I'm saying, right? Well, according to Lady Godiva, he's the one who convinced her husband to raise taxes, even though, as I've stated, that's nonsense. There is no Lord Dyson.
Yes.
And the vacuum cleaner
yes,
lord, right? Yeah.
He got his name from a vacuum cleaner.
It's okay. You know the Anastasia movie?
Yes, I do.
Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but the Russian Revolution happened due to, like, a lot of complicated political and social forces.
Are you telling me it wasn't Rasputin using dark magic to send bad vibes throughout Russia?
Right, exactly. But what's funny is there was no, like, sniveling evil advisor character in the story of Lady Godiva, so they had to invent one.
They had to give her a Rasputin. Okay, so
To quote Jenny Nicholson, my lord, he means you harm.
So someone pointed this out on Tumblr, and I can't not think about it whenever Anastasia comes up. Anastasia spends 90% of the movie completely unaware that there is an undead sorcerer trying to kill her. We, the audience, know it, but she just thinks that there's a bunch of, mysterious but not entirely out of the ordinary bad things stopping her from going to see her grandmother. Until the last 10 minutes, when suddenly this magic dude pops out of nowhere and starts hurling lightning at her. And she's like, okay, and she kills him. But, like, for 90% of the movie, she has no idea that magic exists and that there's an undead sorcerer trying to kill her.
Well, it's because that's what happens when you take a historical story, a recent historical story, and are like, oh, but what if it was a fairy tale? And what if this child who was murdered was actually still alive?
Okay, it's just, you couldn't have, like, if you're making that much shit up anyway, just have her be aware of Rasputin. Have that be why she was hiding. She saw him doing some magic shit. Anyway, so, yeah, Lady Godiva explains that the sniveling man in the picture is Lord Dyson, blah, 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 evil guy. She's gonna go back in time,
Finish her ride,
earn her place in history, and then things will be perfect for women forever.
Oof.
Yeah.
So she gets naked, gets on the horse, and Paige does her little spell.
You couldn't have done. I mean, you had the history book before. This is clearly not something you got out of the Book of Shadows. It's on loose leaf paper.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I guess you could have written it from the Book of Shadows onto loose leaf paper, but yeah. Anyway, Magic School is going nuts because the repression demon has been removing everyone's repression, and everyone was, I guess, repressing the urge to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
And, including a dude who is punching and choking the shit out of a girl, which feels like a weird thing for extras, but,
Yeah. And when Paige runs out to see what's going on, of course, the head elder starts yelling at her because...
snarky elder.
Yes. Because this is obviously all her fault, and he's all riled up now, too. He's like, I thought you said you could control these kids. And she's like, I didn't exactly say that. I said magic school should be open.
Yeah, like...
I said someone could. I've been a witch for like 2 years.
Seriously, aren't there other elders who would be more qualified for
Like, put Leo in charge so that he stops running around trying to blow up demons and also other elders.
Hey, yeah, they end up giving magic school to Leo anyway later when Paige gets bored, I guess.
Anyway, the repression demon pulls out the repression that the snarky elder had, and apparently that's enough power that he is now visible.
Yeah, he sucks the repression out, and it's enough to make him physically manifest, and he's like, yeah, yes, as the elder lightning bolts Paige. Non-fatally, which, how good at lightning bolting is he?
That's so funny you said that, because I was going to say he mustn't have actually meant to kill her, though, because he didn't.
Yeah. There's some very impressive fake wailing on each other going in the background. It's always worth it to watch background extras in this kind of show.
Yes.
So, Paige has returned to the manor. I guess she just left all those kids beating the shit out of each other at magic school.
I guess? She was like, hey, if you're not going to let me have magic school, I guess it's not my problem.
So the Charmed Ones are discussing what happened, that, clearly Lord Dyson is some kind of demon, and he has repression powers, and by, taking the repression away, and Lady Godiva is trying to, she's like, excuse me, and they're ignoring her, so she, thrusts off her robe so that people will pay attention to her again.
I don't... I mean, I guess... I'm sorry. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss for this.
We get one of our great late season Charmed fourth wall breaks where Piper says, woman, put your clothes back on. This is a family show. Really?
Is it, though? Is it, Piper? I mean, she's not even as naked, considering that she's got that long Lady Godiva hair. She's not even as naked as...
Oh, as Phoebe is in half of her work outfits?
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, so...
But the thing she wanted them to pay attention to is that the repression demon is Lord Dyson.
Yeah, and the reason that the spell flopped, that the spell page attempted to try to send Lady Godiva back in time didn't work, was because Lord Dyson came with her and you needed both of them in order to...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I guess. Sure, why not?
Honestly, that makes more sense than anything else in this episode. I didn't even think about questioning that part of it.
But just let it wash over you. But enough of that. Leslie's at the door. And this is really important for some reason. They can't just ignore him. He's a man that Phoebe wants to make sex at.
He brought Phoebe a fancy quill pen that, I mean, like, it's a fake quill, right? It's got a feather on it, but I'm sure it's ballpoint. I think he bought it at Claire's. But he brought the pen to Phoebe as a peace offering since she claimed that losing her favorite pen was the reason she was at the office.
Paige and Piper rushed Lady Godiva upstairs, and he's like, who are they? And she's like, those are my sisters. And he's like, I thought you only had two sisters, which, Phoebe's like, I do. Do you, Phoebe? Do you only have two sisters?
Yeah, she does. What?
I mean, Prue might be dead, but
she doesn't have Prue anymore. Prue's gone.
That means nothing in the world of Charmed. And to pull from what's-it-called? Series of unfortunate events. Just because one of their siblings died does not change their birth identity.
Okay, you don't stop being triplets and become twins, but she has two sisters. I think it's weirder that Leslie is trying to, like, catch her out in a lie when...
Yeah, wouldn't you just assume, okay, I thought she had two, but I guess she has three?
Or that that's just another person, which it is?
Yeah, Phoebe's like, that's a cousin, a distant cousin. You know, people can be in your house without
right,
you being related.
You don't have to explain why there are people in your house.
Yeah.
Like,
So, yeah, we just get a repeat of the earlier scene where...
Well, but this time he has found the breastfeeding letter and he knows that it was Phoebe who put it there.
And he's like, I didn't choose the breastfeeding letter because it is a cause letter and Ask Phoebe does not do causes. And she's like, you're just saying that because you're a man. And it's like, well, do you do causes, Phoebe? Because this seems like a pretty cut and dry thing if you do or do not do causes.
I mean, I would point out that the headline we saw at the beginning of the episode from the letter that Leslie apparently answered was called Glass Ceiling in Sausalito, and we don't know what the letter said, but that sounds like a cause to me.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Also, I mean, things being a cause, that's kind of... Yeah, you know what? He might just be trying to bullshit his way out of this. Although, if it is specifically a call to action against this one restaurant...
Okay, yeah, that's a problem. Because you're trying to get syndicated.
Yeah.
Not because you shouldn't do that. Name and shame, I'm all for that. I feel for Leslie, and I don't want to. I don't want to feel sympathy for, like, this guy. But I do, because he's just trying to do a job, and the person who had the job before him is just breathing down his neck all the time and not letting him do his job.
Oh, seriously. Awful. Awful. Speaking of awful, upstairs, Piper is grilling Lady Godiva about how she defeated a demon in the past by taking all of her clothes off. And Paige is like, well, demons feed off different things. This demon feeds off of repression. So, public nudity starved him of the repression and killed him. Which, I appreciate the sentiment. It doesn't quite hang together, but...
And also isn't what happened with Lady Godiva.
Again, if he was the demon of clothes. Oh no, public nudity, my one weakness. Because, like, in the past, they've defeated demons with stuff like not being afraid.
Right. No, like, if there was a demon who, like, possessed you by living inside of your clothes and you started up, like, a nudist colony to defeat him, I would be so on board with that being an episode.
Yeah. Plus, you could have nudity, which Charmed loves.
Oh.
But, yeah. So, Leo comes back from his murder hoboing, and Piper's like, hey, Leo, maybe you could ask the elders about what's going on with the demon that we have to deal with. And Leo's like, I don't know if I should talk to the elders right now. And Piper's like, I think you really need to talk to the elders. So, I don't know if we mentioned it, but Piper is the only one who knows about Leo's murder of Zola, the James Avery elder from last episode. And they're not being subtle about it, but I don't know. I do like that Piper is in a not nice or helpful way trying to help Leo get over his whole thing.
I do like that. I mean, that was my telekinesis last week. Meanwhile, Lord Dyson is walking down the streets of San Francisco, just, like, making all of the people who are angry even angrier.
Okay, I love the sartorial choices on a lot of these extras. Like, there's a woman who got into a car accident with a man, and she's wearing this, like, red beanie and black tank top with giant pants. And there's, like, a guy in a striped polo shirt with a cast on his leg, who's, you know, walking with the aid of a
crutches,
and he just starts flipping it. I was like, that was an interesting choice. They chose that actor specifically.
Yeah.
So, okay, Leo, yeah, he's causing havoc. He's removing repression, and people are flipping out on each other. Leo is meeting one of the elders at the top of the Golden Gate Bridge.
I mean, they built that set.
But there's a reason for it this time. No one wants him in Elderland. And they've sent the white lady elder that they use when they want the elders to come off as reasonable. Get used to seeing her very situationally. But she's come down to be like, look, Leo, nobody trusts you after you killed Gideon. You're clearly starting to walk down a darker path. And you need to come back with us into the fold. And he's like, then why did you ban me from White Lighterland? And she's like, you need to reaffirm your commitment to us. And he's like, I don't know if I can trust the elders because one of you tried to fucking kill my kid.
And then she's like, listen, we're good, but we're not perfect.
Sometimes someone tries to kill one of your kids. Whoopsie doodles.
Seriously, between this and last week when people were like, say what you want about Gideon, I'm like, you know what? Leo's right. The elders are not taking this seriously enough.
I do appreciate that the Golden Gate Bridge does have video behind it now. You made me hyper aware of when they do and do not have video, you know, on the green screen behind them. And the lady's like, look, Leo, you have a choice to make. I don't want to see you go down the wrong path. And then that floating head that was bugging Leo last episode comes and it's like, you can't trust any of them. Blah, I'm a floating head. Which...
I mean, the floating head's not wrong.
Yeah, you can't trust any of them. It's not the most effective way to spread a message, but it's not wrong. And it did help him kill Barbas. These floating heads are doing Leo a bunch of favors.
Yeah. Team floating head? Question mark?
feel really bad for the Lady Godiva actress. They have her on a horse just...
Yeah, she just sits naked on a horse for a large portion of this episode.
Like, the horse isn't going anywhere or anything, but still cannot possibly be comfortable.
Well, I'm sure she's wearing, like, a nude bodysuit, but still.
So, they're going to send Lady Godiva back again.
And just not worry about Lord Dyson?
Well, they're summoning him. They're summoning Lord Dyson. They're going to blow him up and then try sending her back because I guess they can send her back if they kill him first, even though they couldn't send her back without him. But if he's dead, that's different.
I mean, they'll send his, like, dead essence back, I guess.
Except Piper's explodey power does not work because he has eaten too much repression and is therefore too strong now.
Yeah, he's too powerful for Piper to blow up, and they're like, oh, you know what? Let's send him back.
Yeah, I'm sure the ride will kill him anyway.
Let's see what happens to history when we took a guy who wasn't even visible and let him get all juiced up and then sent him back into history.
Well, I'm assuming he was visible at some point. Someone had to have painted him.
Sure, of course.
So... They blow up Lady Godiva back in time, but then, the candles go out, and suddenly Magic School is all desolate, and something has changed in the world.
I know that you said to just let it wash over me, but it just makes me so angry how dumb this is. Like, it's not how history works. But anyway, they orb to the mirror, the Bay Mirror offices, and oh no, inside all of the women are wearing drab, colorless outfits and hair coverings.
Yeah.
And Phoebe says, I guess everyone took Elise's sexual harassment memo last week seriously. And I'm like, yeah, you know why she had to write that memo, Phoebe?
Because you made out with
Leslie.
I nearly said Jason because she keeps doing it. But yeah, you made out with Leslie apropos of not even, you shouldn't make out with.
She grabbed him and kissed him in the middle of a job interview.
Yeah. So they go in and Leslie bursts out of his office and he's like, Phoebe, what are you doing here? Why are you not at home raising our children?
Considering how, like, hot Phoebe is to have children, I'm surprised she doesn't think for a second about just staying in this world.
Seriously.
We see from a sign that Ask Phoebe is now Ask Leslie. Women aren't allowed to,
Ask Leslie. He'll tell you how to handle your woman.
Yes.
So in this universe, only dudes write into advice columns, and it's specifically about how to control their wives.
Well, I mean, that's Leslie's specialty, right?
Yeah.
Like, people don't only write into advice columns about sex, but that's probably what you're going to write into Savage Love about. People don't only write in about work problems, but that's what you're going to write into Ask a Manager about.
Piper remembers that she has children, and she briefly freaks out. She's like, oh no, I left them with the elven nanny. And Paige and Phoebe rightly point out, there are dudes, who cares? Like, they'll be fine.
But on the street, they realize that they are being stared at by a lot of people because,
Why were they walking home in the first place?
Yeah, that was not smart. And this is when Piper notices the sign on the street that says, women who talk in public will be flogged.
Okay. Women could... I don't think there was ever a point in history where women couldn't talk in public. Like, what? I'll give them credit for finding a very Nazi-esque police officer to lock them in holding. And
yes, he's a very Aryan-looking police officer with a billy club.
Yeah, who keeps adding floggings to them as they talk in jail. They're not in public anymore.
Jail's public.
I guess. But, yeah, Paige is like, okay, so we need to make sure Godiva finishes her ride. And they're like, honey, we can't. She's dead. Lord Dyson killed her. And she's like,
We'll just pull her from the same point in time that we pulled her before. You know what?
She would have been dead anyway. That was hundreds of years ago.
I feel like after the whole season with Chris, Paige is the only one who came out of it actually understanding how time travel works.
So they call Leo, and Leo orbs into jail, and he's like, "What are you guys doing in jail?" And he's wearing a suit too, because in this timeline he's also a man. I mean, repressive man, I guess. Although it doesn't seem to be affecting him very much because he's just basically doing whatever they tell him to anyway.
Well, is he still their white lighter? Like,
or elder.
Like, you know what? I'm gonna take your advice.
Why don't the
elders
elders
let it wash over me?
Why don't the elders just demote Leo? He won't have his lightning powers anymore if they demote him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be an elder. You don't want him there.
Yeah. So...
Okay. This is like one of my favorite tropes. Leo takes them to like the underground back alleys where kids do magic. Illegal magic, because magic is illegal.
I want to point out this is just a worse version of the future from the Bad Future episode back in, season 2? The Reality Bites, where Leo was also helping run an underground magic society in an anti-magic world.
I see what you mean. I was really thinking more of the underground hedge witches in The Magicians.
Well, if you wanted a good example of it, then yes. But, yeah. So, he orbs in there and he's like, look, things didn't just get worse for women. They also got worse for magic people. There are no demons in this world because everything is so repressed that something magic can exist. Which is...
Question mark prophet.
Although, okay, I know it's not. But this does seem like it would be a good version of the whole thing with the avatars later, where the avatars seek to eliminate all evil. And as a corollary, it should have, well, we'll talk about it more. We've talked about it a lot already. But you know what? This does kind of seem like it is kind of setting up that whole, demons can't exist in a world without conflict thing.
Yeah.
There is no magic in a world run. Okay, we can't get into it. Too depressing. Too real world. So Paige finds the boy who cast the spell in the first place, and he's like, stay away from my stash, and she's like, but that's just sage and rosemary because spices are for magic.
Their food is bland too, right? Because of repression.
It's kind of like that bit in in Buffy when they were doing that the magic is an addiction plot line. And Amy breaks into their house to steal like paprika or whatever.
Yes.
Because she needs her fix, man. She needs those herbs so she can cast some spells. That was so poorly written. But we got our Buffy reference in.
Yeah. I feel like we haven't done a Buffy reference in a while. Anyway, Paige gets the spell from Duncan that he used to pull Lady Godiva out in the first place so that she can do it and pull Lady Godiva back out. And as you have talked about, as you have intimated earlier, the spell that he used is the same one they used in that 70s show episode. So, I mean, I enjoy that we went to the underground magic place, but,
You already had this.
You already knew that spell. Interestingly, they briefly talk about how Leo seems freer here, happier, because now we're in a timeline where he didn't go crazy and kill an elder.
So women were to blame for that?
I guess.
Wait, was Gideon not trying to kill...
Well, no, there are no demons.
Gideon wasn't a demon.
Yeah, but...
There's still elders here.
Yeah, but Barbas wouldn't have been there to keep feeding Leo's fear and have him kill... So maybe Gideon was still evil, but he didn't kill Zola.
Oh, okay. It turns out killing elders isn't like potato chips. You can just stop at one.
Well, Gideon's pretty filling.
So, they blurb in Lady Godiva and...
Lord Dyson.
Why is Lord Dyson still really powerful if they pulled her from before she did her ride?
I don't think he is.
No, he is, because they can't kill...
Oh, because stuff exists outside of time? I don't know.
Okay, did they just... No, wait, no, she mentions that she remembers them, so I guess they blorped her back right after they sent them both back in time?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just grab them from a slightly...
Because time continues to move. Remember, we already discussed that's how time travel works. So once their timelines interacted with each other, their timelines move in tandem. Okay. So they pulled her out, like, I don't know how long her ride took, but hopefully it took a couple of hours.
Hopefully he didn't kill her until she was nearing the end of it.
Right. So they pulled her out like an hour after they sent her back, because that's how long it's been.
So Dyson is, he's doing his whole, like, I'm gonna suck out your I'm gonna, suck out your repression or whatever. And the sisters are like, is anyone repressed? No, none of us are repressed, so we can't feed off us. But wah wah.
Oh, turns out Piper's repressed. Turns out she's super pissed at Leo being an absentee father and just running around killing demons. Although I would argue that she is not repressed. That she has been making her feelings pretty well known.
Yeah. It's weird because, like, Phoebe's like, no, I got all my stuff out, and Piper's like, when I'm mad, I let you know. And it's like, yeah, all of the things she's yelling at Leo are things she's been fairly upfront, with him with all episode. So Piper just starts screaming at Leo and blowing him up over and over again. And Lord Dyson's throwing energy balls and stuff, but, yeah, as soon as Piper's attention is refocused on him, he's like, oh.
Better shimmer away because she can actually hurt me.
Yeah. Sure, I survived one blowing up, but I actually don't know what my limits are on this. Because maybe you can survive a couple blowing ups, but eventually it gets harder and harder to reconstitute.
Sure, let's go with that.
Or maybe he's afraid that Piper will remember that she has another power and freeze him.
Although he could probably break out of that if he can survive, or, if he can resist being blown up, he could probably resist being frozen as well.
Yeah, it's just, we haven't seen a freeze in a while, have we?
We have not.
I mean, at least she uses her Explodo power enough, though. It isn't a Phoebe situation where she's just not using her powers.
Yeah. So they retreat to the manor to regroup, and Lord Dyson appears in the manor. I guess he decided he didn't want to face her in magic school. He'd rather be with her on her home turf. I don't know.
So I do really like he reappears and he throws an energy ball and Piper explodes it.
That is cool.
So they're worried about him sucking out Leo's repression and then becoming invincible.
Yeah, because they all know Leo is repressing a lot. But then Phoebe realizes maybe they should let him suck out all of Leo's repression. It'll be like putting too much air into a balloon.
I love this because Leo runs upstairs and he's like, so what's the plan if you don't want me to orb anyone out of there? And they're like, we're going to let him feed on you. Good luck with that. And he's like, what? He has this kind of high-pitched what? And then, yeah, Lord Dyson comes and he's feeding off Leo. And it turns out making it so Leo's really fucking pissed is a bad idea. I do genuinely like Leo's little speech about how he's jealous of demons because when they kill, they don't feel anything.
Okay, you're right. That is a really good setup for the Avatar stuff. You know what? It's so funny because last season we talked about how they obviously had no idea what they were doing with Chris until they got to the end.
Yeah.
But here I feel like they have been leading up to what the Avatars will be from Go. So I will give them credit for that.
Yeah. It's too bad they don't quite pull it off. But, So, Lord Dyson is Explodo, and now Lady Godiva can
strip naked and go back and finish her ride.
Yeah. Piper very comedically grabs Leo's head and turns it away from Lady Godiva because she celebrates being free to finish her ride by tossing her clothes off.
Come on, Piper. Leo's seen so many women naked.
Including your grandmother.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're back at magic school. Lady Godiva's back on her horse. Paige is trying to talk Duncan into sending her back, and he's like, why don't you just do it? And she's like, because I believe in you, Duncan.
It's a teachable moment. If she fixes all of his mistakes, he'll never learn. He's got to do it. I'm with Paige on this one.
So he talks about, he's like, I have performance anxiety. What if they're watching? And Paige is like, oh, they're definitely watching, but it's saying a fucking couplet, Duncan. Stop being a goddamn wuss and just do it.
She wants the elders to see that she makes the kids fix their own mistakes, and therefore magic school should stay open.
Okay, I gotta give the guy who plays Duncan credit. He does a really good job with a not very big role. Like, it's subtle by charm standards, but, you know, when Lady Godiva takes off her
robe,
he kind of looks a little bit down from where he was looking before when he was talking to her on the horse. Like, it's a very subtle thing, but, you know.
Yeah.
So the new main elder orbs in, and he's like, I thought I told you no teaching kids how to use magic. And Paige is like, fuck you! I went to an alternate dimension, and it turns out that without magic school, kids are going to learn magic on the streets. And they're going to be smoking herbs and stuff and snorting pixie dust off each other's dicks. And I'm not going to let that happen. And the elder's like, okay, fine. You're in charge of magic school. Fuck you, Paige. Fuck you, kids. Paige is in charge now.
A fitting punishment for all involved.
And Duncan comes up to her and he repeats the "you can do this" line, but it's vaguely sarcastic, and I love it so much. He's like, don't worry, Paige, you can do it.
Okay, now let's get to the end here.
Okay, I love this. Phoebe
tells her sisters that they should go to the cafe because she wants them to see her political action. Which
she's protesting this restaurant not allowing her sister to breastfeed by sending her stunt double to ride naked on a horse through the restaurant.
I don't understand why this works.
So she rides naked through the streets to, you know, into the restaurant, and she's like, this man thinks women belong in the 11th century, barefoot and naked. He's afraid of breasts, the most natural thing in the world. Like my sisters. He shamed my sister, Piper Halliwell, for breastfeeding, nakedly with her boobs. Everyone look at Piper. She's right there. And Piper's like, thank you for inviting me to this.
Okay, look, I know that Phoebe is naked, but I don't want us to ignore, like, a super important thing that's going on right now.
Yeah.
And that is that in the crowd scene, there's a mime.
Yeah, for no goddamn reason. There is a mime, and the mime is in a lot of it. The mime is clapping. It follows Phoebe into the street. It's pretending to ride the horse after her. I don't know why I'm saying it. It's a male mime.
It's a human. Mimes aren't another species.
But Phoebe successfully shames the man into taking down the "no breastfeeding women in my restaurant" sign, and then she victoriously nakedly rides off.
And apparently this entire thing was able to be seen from the window of Leslie's office. He was watching the whole thing, and he's so inspired that he pulls out the breastfeeding letter because he's going to run that letter in the next column, even though clearly
situation's resolved.
Okay, you know what? I've been won over. I have been won over.
I mean, it's
what is even happening?
It's great. It's so great. It's so terrible. It's I love it. I love it so much. All right. Much like the Charmed ones, we have our own power of 3. The first power in our pack is Premonition, who in this episode is, was, or will become famous.
So there's a really big one in this one.
There is a very big one in this one.
I feel like Max and I have been talking around it by just saying, like, the main elder.
Mm-hmm. And in the future, we are going to refer to him by his actual name.
Which is John Delancey.
Which I think we did in the last episode when we talked about this episode.
We definitely mentioned that he was going to be in the show. But yes, this is the first appearance of John Delancey as one of the elders. John Delancey, of course, is best known for his role as Q in Star Trek.
I thought you were going to swerve with that one, but yes.
And bring up the character he played in Days of Our Lives.
Oh, I thought you were going to bring up his character in My Little Pony, which, as all characters John Delancey plays was basically just Q.
Which we will get into a lot more in a couple podcasts when we do, this isn't a joke, this is what we're doing. After we do Welcome to the Sunset Strip, we're doing Welcome to the Q Continuum.
Yes.
Where we do all of the Q episodes of Star Trek. So we will talk a lot about John Delancey. So I won't get too into it right now, but I will say that I am a Trekkie. Like, being into Star Trek is a big part of, like, my formative years.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first time I got into Star Trek was because I turned on the TV and it was a Q episode, and I was like, yes, let's do that. So I have a fondness for John Delancey.
Yeah, he's a very entertaining person to watch.
Yes.
Okay, I think, did you have others? You said the main one.
The main elder.
Oh, you didn't have other people. Yeah, the guy who the guy who plays the demon had strong James Van Der Beek energy, but that's not something you can give someone credit for.
Well, the kid who played Duncan looked so familiar to me that I checked his IMDb, and he hasn't really done anything else. But like 3 days from now, I'm going to be like, oh, I know what actor he was reminding me of. But I was so certain he was going to be an old. But no, it's Q's world. We're just living in it.
Yeah, it's too bad the kid was good. I could see him playing an awkward high schooler well into his 20s, assuming he wasn't at this point. But the second power in our pack is Time Freeze. What specifically dated this episode?
Okay, this isn't something I want to get deep into.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the idea of feminism as like a given, and that this is both like the idea of this solution and the idea of this problem, as opposed to, you know, Roe versus Wade being overturned and women losing reproductive rights, and like it was a simpler time.
We want to believe in the progressive arc of history, but that's not generally how it works.
It doesn't bend on its own, and it doesn't bend just from like a single great man. Like, it takes a lot of people to bend the arc of history.
And the thing is, it's not a sexy narrative. The fact that things happen because lots of people do lots of gritty, unpleasant, unsexy work to have it done.
Ooh, you know what? I'm going to call back to something I said earlier in a different context.
Okay.
Everyone wants to save the world, and no one wants to help mom do dishes.
Yeah. All right. The third power in our pack is telekinesis. What, if anything, genuinely moved you?
I mean, I don't really have anything. Holly Marie Combs is pretty checked out, and when she's checked out, it's hard for me to feel things.
Yeah, I liked this episode. There's a lot of bits I liked. And honestly, Brian Krause is weirdly bringing his A game. Weirdly. It's weird that this man who is starring in a TV show is trying at his job. Like,
and yet.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of his stuff. I'm appreciating the journey Leo is going on here. But there isn't really one singular moment I can point to. All right. Much like the Charmed Ones, our powers have grown over time. One of the new powers in our pack is molecular combustion. What blew apart continuity? Okay, I guess it could be a weasel thing, but from this point on, there is this sort of weird thing where they act like Grams and Patty taught the girls magic.
Uh-huh.
Which I know they did in that 70s episode, but they all forgot about it. And the whole premise of the show was that they didn't know about magic when they, became witches as adults. So it seems disingenuous to describe them as being trained by their mother and grandmother.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the thing is, that goes on for the rest of the show. Like, when Grams' ghost comes back later, she talks about, teaching them magic, which she didn't.
Yeah, I mean, if you'll remember, she taught Phoebe the poem to the spell to vanquish the Wookiee, like, as a child's fairy tale.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. But she didn't teach them magic. Well, but speaking of Grams.
Ooh.
Next week's episode is Cheaper by the Coven.
Okay.
And the Peacock description is, Grams' spell turns the Charmed Ones into bickering teens.
Oh, that's a really, really shitty premise for an episode, but it is a Grams episode, and I love Grams episodes. So, I don't know. It could go either way because I remembered being excited about the Hippie Grams episode, and then that sucked. But
Yeah, let's just go into it and let it wash over us.
it'll be nice to see Jennifer Rhodes again. She's always fun.
It's true.
I wonder how she's going to react to finding out that Piper had another man baby.
Oh.
Or boy, if you will.
Right. Because when you say Piper's man baby, I think Leo. So I think that'll do it for this week.
And Chris was also kind of a man baby when he was around as a 22-year-old.
That's true, but he's actually her baby, so it's okay.
Yes. All right, yes, that will about do it for this episode.
Our show is partially listener supported. If you want to be one of the supporters, head over to our website, www.welcometotelevision.net, and click on our Patreon link. We'd like to thank our current $5 and above patrons, Beryl, Patricia, Rosa, Ryan, Maricruz, Benjamin, Kate, Jen, Dan, Anthony, Daniel, and Hippolyta.
If you'd like to support the show in other ways, you could always rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. It helps other people find the show.
If you want to talk about this episode or any episode of any television show, you can email us at ilovetelevisionzines@gmail.com, or you can find us on Blue Sky at Welcome to Television.
So until next time, I'm Max.
And I'm Tina.
And this has been Welcome to the Halliwell Manor.